Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of What Ted Says, where it's always time to get a fatter wallet and a bigger net worth. And today we're talking about one of the foundations to actually building a lot of wealth, and that is goal development. You know, a lot of people, they get nothing in life because they have no goals. In fact, there were studies that were done many years ago, graduates of Harvard, and they interviewed these people some 20 years later after they graduated, and they found out there were people that had no real written goals at all. They found out that there were people who had some goals that were written down but not reviewed on a regular basis, and then they found that there were some of the people that had goals that were written down, reviewed, and followed up on a regular basis. And when they found out is the people that actually wrote down goals and looked at them on an ongoing basis was only 3% of the class. And it was roughly 80% of the class that had no goals altogether. The differential in income over 20 years was 10x, 10 times the amount of income earned by people that had goals versus ones that did not. So, you want to learn a lot about this today, make sure that you click the subscribe button, make sure that you leave me comments today, make sure that you click the notifications button as well so you get all of this good stuff inside of your inbox. So when it comes to goal setting, there are basically 5 profoundly simple steps to be able to set and achieve goals. If you write these down, follow them, and do exactly what I tell you to do here, you too will have a more prosperous financial future. And more importantly, you'll achieve the things that you want in life, financially or not. The first step in here is to have a goal. And goals can factor into 3 areas. They can factor into personal goals. That could be as simple as you want to walk 2 miles a day. There are business goals that may revolve around income or career growth or a designation that you want to get at work. And then there are self-development goals, and that can range from learning to become a better delegator to basically becoming a better parent. But ultimately, you want to break your goals down into those 3 categories: personal, business, and also self-development. Once you have a goal, then you basically have to create a plan. And this is really the hard part, because just putting a bunch of goals on paper aren't going to make it happen. You've got to develop a plan as to when this is going to happen. This is the difference between most successful people when it comes to setting goals and ones that don't, is how much actually gets in the calendar. You see, a goal sheet might tell you what you need to do, but a calendar is going to tell you when you need to do it. The huge mistake that people make is that they don't end up putting it into their calendar, and consequently, without it in your calendar, it's unlikely for it to get done. And one of the reasons this happens, by the way, is a very small law called Parkinson's Law, and don't confuse this with Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's Law basically says the time that we take and allot to a job is the time it will take to fill it. So if it's Sunday and you say, I've got to do laundry on Sunday, but you don't have a definite start time and a definite stop time, you're probably not going to end up doing the laundry until the end of the day, and then you're going to have to cram to get it done by the end of the day. People that are very effective at goal setting, when they move from having a goal to having a plan in step number 2, are very effective at getting that plan into a calendar. Number 3 is making sure that you actually implement the plan. And sometimes this requires a coach or a set of enablers. You've got to find people in your life who are actually willing to help you achieve your goals, and not people that are detractor from achieving your goals. Think about this. Even if you have goals, when was the last time your brother, your sister, your spouse, your partner, your parents actually knew what your goals were? And could they be more of an enabler to help you achieve your goals if they knew exactly what you were trying to get? Unfortunately, when a lot of people write goals, they're too scared to share them with other people, because it really makes you afraid that you might actually have to face it in the mirror and accomplish what it is that you said that you were going to accomplish. It's much easier to just tear that piece of paper up if you fall behind or you don't start those goals by not telling anybody at all. So implementing that plan is not just a calendar-driven thing, but it's also making sure that you have the right enablers. Then the last 2 steps are super critical in the goal development process, and they are to control direction and to throw off discouragement. Let's talk about both of them. When you get discouragement and you're going for goals, it can happen all the time. Think about something simple that you tell yourself you're going to run 5 miles a day, but you know you can't start at that level. So you start at a mile, and then you're at 2 miles, and then you're at 3 miles, but then you get discouraged one day because you can't even make the 3 miles. See, When you have that happen to you, it's like an analogy I used to explain called the dish rag theory, which means that if you're walking towards a door and somebody throws a dish rag right at your face, what are you going to do? Well, you're inclined to spend a lot of your time thinking about how to deal with the dish rag as opposed to sidestepping the dish rag. Part of what you need to learn with goal setting is the difference between an inconvenience and a problem. A lump in your oatmeal and a lump in your throat and a lump in your breast are three different kinds of lumps, and you ought to know the difference between which one is an inconvenience and which one is a problem as you go to your goals. So discouragement is a big one. Again, you're going to want to have people around you that can help you get through that discouragement. And the last part is just controlling direction. Think about your goals like an absolute north-south set of railroad tracks. And the further you veer off the railroad tracks, the harder it is to get back on the track. And that's why a lot of times people will write goals, they'll put them in some sort of notebook or they'll put them in their wallet, but then they won't even look at them for 6 months. You've got to read and reread those goals on a nightly basis, because one of the ways to control your direction is to visualize what's going to be happening with those goals. I remember when I had $67 in my bank account and I told myself, by this age, I want to make this amount of income so I don't ever have to worry about eating the 3 Ps, pasta, popcorn, and potatoes. And you know what? I did it. I had a singular focus to be able to make $100,000 by the time I was the age of 24. And I accomplished that goal. And by the age of 26, I had gotten to $500,000. But it was all around the focus and singularity of focus around my goals. So these 5 steps that I talked about here, have a goal, have a plan, implement the plan, control direction, and throw off discouragement, are the 5 profoundly simple steps when it comes to overall goal development. Remember this, you need to know what your guiding principles and values are as it pertains to your goals. We are far too influenced in life by what other people want for us as opposed to what you want for yourself. It doesn't matter if that means having a little bit of money or a lot of money. It doesn't matter if it means you want to take 1 trip or 20 trips. Ultimately, the most important thing is that you can look yourself in the mirror every single night, know that you've got a set of goals that you believe in that are important to you, and you've got people around you who try to help you make that happen. This is your episode of What Ted Says. As always, if you like this today, it's great content. Make sure that you click the subscribe button. Make sure that you share this one for your friends, especially over the next year. Got to have people set goals. They're going to achieve more in life. You can help them. They can help you. I hope you enjoyed this episode of What Ted Says.